Hi, Mark Pompous here. I'm going to give you an update on my boat, update number 3. Okay, so last night I applied the sheetrock joint tape along the seams. This is what it looks like. It's just paper. I bought this like 15 years ago, but I think it's still available. You can still buy it. It's basically I apply it to all the exterior joints of the boat. It's set in Titebond 3, not epoxy. Now you can use epoxy, it's just I prefer, being a woodworker, I prefer Titebond 3 because I've never had a joint fail in my life using Titebond 3, and I've had a lot of bad experiences with epoxy. It just, I don't know, maybe I'm just jinxed. But this is how I wrap the corners. It gets amazingly strong when you apply this to the corners. Yeah, so this stern piece here, I just used Kreg screws and I glued it and screwed it, and then I removed the screws and filled them with thickened Titebond, and I used sawdust to thicken it, just as an experiment. It didn't work all that great. It's a little bit, it kind of shrinks a little bit, but this is not going to be really exposed to the water. It's going to be, you will see it on the trail. This will be the back end of the trailer, the bike trailer. So anyway, when I prime it and paint it, it should look a lot better. So that's what it looks like. Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate the process. A lot of people have asked that I put a video up showing how this process, what it looks like. This is just a sample piece that I made, I don't know, about a year ago. It's basically 2 pieces of 1/4-inch plywood. They're not even mitered, but I just held them in this angle, and then the first thing I did was put a Titebond 3 fillet on the inside, and I thickened it with sawdust. This one I tried flour. You can also use wood flour, and there's all kinds of stuff you can use, but that's just what I had on hand. And then this is the paper on the outside, and I was quite amazed at how strong it got. It's pretty dang strong. Is it as strong as epoxy? No. Is it strong enough for my boat, my day use boat, that it's only going to be in the water for 3 hours? I would say yes. This is quite easy. I'm going to show you how easy it is. I can do this whole boat in 30 minutes and be out of here. First thing I'm going to do is the stern. It's always better to start at the back of the boat and move forward. Just like when you're shingling a roof, you start at the bottom and move up, opposite the flow of the water. All right, so there's my stern piece. Titebond 3. Dash of water. And this roller, I used it yesterday for the other haul. I just let it soak in water, and then I dried it out with a paper towel, so I can reuse it. This is like an old chicken container, so I'm repurposing it. The cool thing about this is there's no clock running. With epoxy, you got a clock running and you got to worry about the weather and all kinds of stuff. As long as it's above freezing, this stuff works pretty well. Okay, so the reason I'm thinning the Titebond 3 is because I have to completely saturate this piece of paper. It's not enough for it to sit on the top and sit on the bottom. The middle also has to be saturated. So, so now that I have that mixed up, I just basically it's just like paper mache, you just stick it in there. On both sides. This is it. I found this to be quite easy. Just go like that. And it's a little bit too much over here, so I can. All right. So now I just take it over here and stick it on. Start in the middle and push outwards. Like this. Okay, and then have a bucket. Clean your hands off. Just kind of wipe the excess off. That. And that's it. Move on to the next one. So I can actually do both of these the same length because it's the same, symmetrical on both sides. Okay, so because I did the other one yesterday, I'll probably be a little bit better on this one. It's been about a year and a half since I've done this. So the only other tool that I really need is this is basically a epoxy spreader. You can go like that and get the excess off, and it makes it a lot smoother. All right, I'm going to move the camera so those are the two strips I just did about 5 minutes ago. I don't have to wear gloves, and there's not really anything that I have to throw out. Okay. So if you put plenty of glue on both sides before you stick it on the boat, you don't have to put glue on the boat before you stick it down. If you don't have enough glue, you'll know immediately because it won't want to stick. The other thing is you can wait like a minute or two before you stick your paper strip on here. What it does is it allows the paper to absorb the glue and it'll expand a little bit. And then when it dries, it shrinks a little bit. And so if there's any kind of bubble or pucker, it actually disappears magically the next day. All right, to do this side, I really don't like doing the strip the whole length. I tried that yesterday and it was really hard. The other end fell and picked up sawdust and all kinds of crap. So I'm just gonna do like half. I'm gonna do like 3 feet basically. And I'm gonna start at the back and then put the front on next. So. And if you want, you can be anal and cut it 90 degrees and all that. It's not really necessary, but looks like I'm running low on glue. no problem, just throw some more in there. Just a dash of water. You don't want more than 10% water, according to the manufacturer's recommendations. But you can thin Titebond glue with 10% water. Alright, so I'm gonna do like this. See how it's still have a hold of it and it's not gonna go dragging stuff. See how there's not enough coverage on this side? See that? So I gotta get more stuff on here. I'm going to basically start again here. Oops. Yeah, the longer it gets, the more complicated it gets. See, there we go. All right, now on this one, because this is curving, I'm gonna let it tack up for a couple minutes because you want it stretched like a pantyhose. You want it stretched so it can go around a curve. Well, actually the back is not really curved yet, so. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold it here for like a minute. Okay. So you can kind of just, it's good to stretch it like this. There we go. It's a little bit too far in, so I'm pulling it back out. You can reposition relatively easily. All right, let's try that again. There we go. Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna wash my hands a little bit. And grab the squeegee. So it's very similar to epoxy. It's just you don't have to wear all this safety gear, and you don't have to worry about the time and the clock. You don't have to wear gloves that stick to the to the boat as you're working. And then okay, so there. All right, here's my strip. Go right there. All right. Got a little bit too much at the top, so I'm trying to move it down. Again, I'm gonna wait about a minute for this to expand a little bit. All right, I can't really do anything exciting right now. All right, it's been about a minute. Okay, so this paper is a little bit stiff, and every once in a while you'll probably get a couple pucker areas, maybe 2 or 3. When that happens, I just grab a utility knife and slice it like that. Oh yeah, this is, well, I don't know if this is the front or the back, I forgot to check, but so you can do that. I'm just making a slit, and then one goes on top of the other, and then it lays flat. Yeah, I should have noted, is this the front or the back of the boat, because I can't really tell at this point because they're basically the same. But yeah, you should do it with regards to water flow. Actually, I can tell. I know what it looks like. This is the top. So that means it flips down and becomes the back. Okay, so this is the stern. So yeah. All right, that's it. Just gonna carry this here. Okay. All right, the last corners that I'm going to do are these tiny little ones here. Don't forget these, because this is a piece of solid wood that's got one screw going into this 1/2-inch plywood, and this is where the boat is going to be towed. There's going to be a bracket here, and it's going to be pulled. So the connection between this and the sides has to be really strengthened. So don't forget to do these corners here. I'm just kind of wiping off any excess with this. You can use a squeegee, but then sometimes the squeegee leaves a little ridge. Like this, you'll get a ridge right on the corner. And then you just kind of knock that down with this. That's it. I'm all done. That's the second half of the boat. We'll see how long that took. If I wasn't doing a video, it would be a lot quicker, but I don't think it took more than a half hour. And cleanup is really easy. All I gotta do is throw this in the sink, throw this in the sink, throw this in my bucket, and that's it. Wash my hands. That is it. All right, so here's a look at the boat that I just did. It took 45 minutes. If I wasn't doing a video, it'd probably be 30 minutes. So the next question is, when this dries, what do I do next? Do I sand it? The answer is no. It's going to be rough. It's going to be kind of like textury. The grain is going to be, it's going to feel a little bit like sandpaper, which is perfect for putting on your primer. I'll put the primer on and then I'll sand the primer. And that's what I've done before. And that works really well. You have to use a primer that's sandable. So one more time, in summary, would I make a boat to cross an ocean with this? No. Would I make a racing sailboat out of this? No. Would I make a boat that I'm going to have on the water for about a half a day and then store in my garage when I'm not using it? Absolutely yes. I think really that's what this is really good for. It's not going to win any races, you know, but as far as a sealing technique, there's no adhesive on this boat besides Titebond 3. There's no epoxy, there's no Gorilla Glue, there's nothing. It's just the same bottle right there. I use about half of that bottle to make both of these. And the other thing is this boat will lighten up as the Titebond dries. It'll actually get lighter. Sometimes it takes 2 days to get dry, but then it becomes really strong, like this thing here. It's my proof of concept. I've been doing that for like a year now and it hasn't broken.